flash those clothes from the side.
I am a golfer.
You gave me the wrong time of year.
It's getting worse and worse, however.
You must have kids then.
I do. I've got two boys.
Two more, how old are they?
14 and 12, and I've got one on the way as well. So.
Do they play?
They play hockey, actually. Yeah, they are hockey guys.
Goodness gracious. I think we want to talk football, so
That's right.
keep it generic. I'm just asking your thoughts about this year's football season.
Yeah, so, well, I'll tell you, you look at the anticipation I think that we all are coming into this year with, and it's as high as ever, coming off of a season last year where we're 11 seconds, 5 yards away from playing for a national championship in an offense that returns Aaron Murray, Todd Gurley, the entire offensive line, obviously a lot of firepower on that side of the ball. Big question marks right now on the defensive side, but if there's one thing about a Todd Grantham coach defense is guys are going to be ready to play. And if we can make our way through the gauntlet in the first 4 games of the season, who knows what could happen, but I like our chances.
Looking at talking about Aaron Murray, from your perspective, how much can he improve from junior year, which is such a great year, to going to the senior year?
Well, and really, it's every year that he's played, he has just been everything that you would ask for, not only in a quarterback, but a leader of your football team. And I think I look at his progression from the time he first got on campus, where he was very scripted and followed his progressions and his reads really without fail, and very rarely went away from those, to where now he manages and dictates the game and takes advantage of weaknesses on the defensive side of the football, not only pre-snap, but even during the play. If he sees any weakness, he's very aggressive with the football and does a good job taking care of it. I just look for his progression to continue and continue to grow, continue to be a leader. If there's one area, I think that if you would ask the fan base, where can you step up, is playing and winning in those big games. He's done it. I've been an advocate of the work that he's done, right from the very beginning. But right now, can he take this team and win an SEC championship? And boy, if he does, he's going to secure his legacy as one of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks ever played.
Eric, our beat writers are telling us that the team has a new attitude this year. It's more focused, less hype, less sloganeering.
Yeah.
Is that something you recognize as happening?
Yeah, I think so. Last year, especially when you look at all of the talent we had on the defensive side of the ball, so many guys that got drafted, a couple of very high draft picks, it's easy to lose a little bit of focus. This year's team doesn't have all of that noise surrounding them. On the offensive ball, while we've got so much talent, it's not quite the same media buzz that maybe we had last year as a team. And you've got an entire defense that's there trying to prove themselves. That galvanizes a team and really brings them together and gets them ready to play. And the kind of leadership that we have on this football team, where the players really request and require so much out of each other, it makes a huge difference. And I think that's why you've got that renewed spirit and really a team that's gathering around and rallying around one another to go prove themselves, because while they're ranked very, very high in the polls, still a lot of questions surround this football team.
Thanks.
This is your 7th year as a radio analyst, is that right?
Oh, I have to go back and count there. I guess 6th year, I think. 6th or 7th year. Yeah.
Okay, just what's that been like?
It has been just everything and anything that you could ask for. First coming in and to be able to sit with Larry Munson and actually have a chance to call a game with him was a dream of mine. My first introduction to the University of Georgia was actually listening to Larry Munson call a game, and immediately, like so many others, you just become engaged with the program, with him, with everything that this great university stands for. So to be a part of the team, being a part of the program, it's been a dream come true, and I've loved every minute of it.
What's the preparation like being a radio analyst?
Well, it's a lot of prep. Fortunately for me, I get to go in my role and really talk about what I spent a lifetime doing, which is analyzing defenses and really talking about that. But there's a lot of prep that goes into it during the week. Fortunately for me, I've got a great team around me just across the board. Scott Howard, obviously, Hondo, with the work that he does, Tony Schiavone, just the entire crew makes it pretty easy for what I do.
We're here in Augusta. lost to halfway sort of between Columbia and Athens, and the rivalry between Georgia and South Carolina seems to really sort of taken off. Can you talk about that? Just what it's like playing the game?
Well, listen, it's always been a big rivalry, right? You're so close in proximity, and then when you get beat by a team 3 years in a row, it really ratchets up the rivalry even more. But I think when you look at where both teams are in the East, many predictions have Carolina and Georgia 1-2 in the conference, one way or another. Of course, Florida's in there as well. But the game carries such importance, and you are involved in recruiting battles throughout the year. The winner of this game carries a huge edge going into the offseason, but also for the rest of this season. So it's vitally important. The fact that we've had our struggles against them here recently adds to the fire a little bit. Of course, some comments that were made a little earlier in this year probably going to add a little bit of fuel to that fire as well.
But you lost to Carolina, I think, in the close one. Brandon Bennett, 93.
Yeah,
I came back and beat them.
Yeah, my career against them, I believe it was 2-1. So we beat them both times in Carolina, lost to them one time in Athens. And Carolina's got a great football program, a lot of great football players in the state of South Carolina. Of course, they do a good job recruiting as well. They're just continuing to ramp that up and even get better. So I see it as a rivalry that's going to be around for a while.
Looking at from a former player's perspective, not the take one game at a time motto, but how, looking at the first 4 games,
sure.
how do they handle that kind of grind?
Playing in the SEC, you've got that kind of grind all of the time. Not always is it right at the start of a football season, but when you come to a school like Georgia, you expect to play in big football games where you're playing the perennial powers in the country. So it's why you come to play. They just happen to be now at the start of the season. You win these football games, boy, it can have an amazing effect on you for the remaining part of the season. Of course, the reverse can happen too if you get going the wrong direction. But I think one thing that we've all seen with Coach Rick, his team's going to be focused and ready to go week after week. They're not going to make too much of any one given game. It's exciting for the fans, but from a player's perspective, you prepare for each game like it's your last game. You've got to be ready to go. And you work so hard and prepare so much, you take a lot of the nerves out of it, especially when you step on the field and take that first blow.
I just want to ask you if you've nuts and bolts. You're about 40. 40, okay. And where do you live?
In Marietta.